Imagine for a moment a tiny disc of copper-plated zinc, so small it can slip unnoticed between sofa cushions, so often overlooked it might as well be invisible. It's the coin we hardly ever spend, often toss into jars, or simply leave behind, a forgotten relic in the hurried pace of modern life. Yet, for over 2 centuries, this humble object has been more than just a piece of metal. It is a tangible link to America's past, a silent witness to its forging and its struggles, a constant presence in the pockets and purses of generations. We are talking, of course, about the penny. For many, the penny evokes a nostalgic warmth. It's the first coin countless children ever held, a symbol of nascent wealth, of piggy banks overflowing with dreams. It's the coin associated with Lincoln, with thrift, with the quaint notion of a penny saved is a penny earned. It's the silent hero of countless charitable drives, building mountains of copper for causes both grand and small. To touch a penny is, for a fleeting instant, to touch history. It's to hold a piece of the nation's economic bedrock, a vestige of a time when every single coin, no matter how small, carried palpable value. But now, the whisper is no longer a whisper. It's an announcement, carried across digital screens and news feeds. The world is marking the passing of the humble penny. After serving generations for more than 232 years since its birth in 1793, this small copper icon, the oldest coin in American history, is finally set to retire from circulation in 2025. It's a moment of profound reflection, a quiet farewell to a constant companion. The penny has been more than just currency. It has been a silent witness to the growth of a nation, quietly circulating through millions of hands, pockets, jars, and wishing fountains. It has carried grocery lists, good luck charms, first jobs paychecks, and countless find a penny, pick it up moments, each one a tiny flicker of hope or serendipity. Though often taken for granted, the penny has remained a constant presence in everyday life, reminding us that even the smallest things have value, that every cent counts. As it prepares to pass into history in 2025, we pay tribute to its legacy of luck, thrift, and nostalgia. It may forever hold a place in our change jars, our cherished memories, and the dreams held within childhood piggy banks. It is, undoubtedly, a small coin with a lasting impact, a truly profound epitaph for an old friend. This isn't just an administrative decision, it's a cultural turning point, a final chapter in the story of an enduring American icon. The paradox is stark. A coin meant to facilitate commerce now costs more to produce than its face value. This isn't just an inefficiency, it's a financial absurdity that bleeds millions from the U.S. Treasury each year. Every time a new penny rolls off the production line at the U.S. Mint, it represents a net loss to the American taxpayer. A penny for your thoughts? How about 2 cents for every penny made? This single inescapable economic reality has sat at the heart of the death of the penny debate for decades, transforming it from a mere nostalgic musing into a pressing fiscal concern. But now, with a firm date set, these concerns move from theoretical arguments to the practical implementation of a momentous change. The story of the penny's potential demise, and now its confirmed retirement, is far more intricate than a simple cost-benefit analysis. It is a sweeping narrative that weaves through the very fabric of American identity, touching upon history, economics, psychology, environmental concerns, and even the subtle shifts in human behavior that define our modern era. It's a story not just about a coin, but about the evolution of a nation's values, its struggles with inflation, its relationship with tangible money in an increasingly digital world, and ultimately, its willingness to let go of a cherished, if costly, tradition. To truly understand why America has chosen to retire its oldest coin, we must first journey back to its very origins, to the foundational days of a fledgling republic when the concept of a national currency was as radical and revolutionary as the idea of independence itself. The year is 1792. The ink on the Constitution is barely dry, and the young United States is grappling with the monumental task of building a nation from scratch. One of the most critical challenges is establishing a stable, uniform monetary system. Before this, the economic landscape was a chaotic patchwork of foreign coins, Spanish dollars, British shillings, French livres, alongside state-issued paper money, all circulating with wildly fluctuating values. This monetary muddle stifled commerce, complicated transactions, and undermined the very idea of a unified economy. Enter Alexander Hamilton, the brilliant and visionary first Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton understood that a strong nation required a strong standardized currency. He championed the Mint Act of 1792, a landmark piece of legislation that formally established the United States Mint and laid the groundwork for the coins we recognize today. This act wasn't just about creating money, it was about asserting national sovereignty, fostering economic stability, and instilling confidence in the new government. And right there, at the very beginning, was the copper cent. The smallest denomination, yes, but crucially important. It was designed to provide the necessary small change for everyday transactions, allowing prices to be set with greater precision, and ensuring that even the poorest citizens could fully participate in the economy. The very first cents, larger than today's pennies, were substantial copper discs, almost the size of a modern half-dollar. They were tangible, weighty, and unmistakably valuable in a nascent economy where a single cent could buy a substantial portion of a loaf of bread or a handful of nails. They were known as large cents and half cents, foundational units in a newly decimalized system that stood in contrast to the confusing British pounds, shillings, and pence. From its very inception, the penny, in its various forms, was a symbol of accessibility and economic fairness. It ensured that no transaction was too small, no price too precise to be accommodated by the national currency. It was the people's coin, fundamental to the daily rhythm of buying, selling, and trading that built the early American economy. It was a utilitarian coin, but it quickly became something more, an emblem of practicality and the burgeoning strength of the young republic.
Over the centuries, the penny underwent numerous transformations. Its size shrank, its metal composition changed from pure copper to bronze, then to copper-plated zinc. Its design evolved, featuring various depictions of liberty, until finally, in 1909, Abraham Lincoln graced its obverse, marking the centennial of his birth. The Lincoln cent, with its familiar profile and later the Lincoln Memorial and then the Union Shield, became perhaps the most iconic and enduring representation of the coin. It was a tribute to a president who embodied unity, resilience, and the American spirit, qualities that many felt the penny itself had come to represent. Through 2 world wars, the Great Depression, the space race, and the digital revolution, the penny endured. It was there through periods of booming prosperity and crushing poverty. It circulated during times of immense social change, from the suffragette movement to the civil rights era. It witnessed the rise of industrial giants and the birth of the information age. It accumulated in jars, was found on sidewalks, and was used to make change for countless small purchases. It was a constant, a bedrock of the American monetary system, seemingly immune to the tides of change that swept through other aspects of society. But the world and America's economy did not stand still. Inflation, a relentless and insidious force, began its slow, steady erosion of the penny's purchasing power. What once bought a substantial item now barely registered. The notion of a penny candy became a quaint historical reference, not a contemporary reality. The physical act of handing over a penny or receiving one in change began to feel less like a legitimate transaction and more like a bothersome formality. This is where the story shifts from historical foundation to modern dilemma, culminating in the decision to retire it in 2025. The penny, once a symbol of value, gradually became a symbol of inconvenience. Retailers found themselves grappling with mountains of pennies, slowing down transactions as cashiers meticulously counted out precise change. Banks faced the logistical nightmare of handling and transporting vast quantities of low-value coins. And consumers? Well, consumers simply started leaving them behind. The take-a-penny, leave-a-penny trays at convenience store counters became informal graveyards for the unwanted, a tacit acknowledgement of the coin's diminishing utility. The core argument against the penny, which ultimately led to its planned retirement, is undeniably economic, centered around that shocking statistic: it costs more to make than it's worth. In recent years, the US Mint has consistently reported that the cost of producing a single cent hovers around 2.4 to 2.6 cents, sometimes even higher depending on the fluctuating prices of copper and zinc. This isn't just a slight overage, it's a significant deficit that accumulates into tens of millions of dollars annually, paid for by taxpayers. Imagine a factory that produces a product for $1 but incurs $2.50 in manufacturing costs. No business would sustain such a model for long. Yet the US Mint, by congressional mandate, continue to do exactly that with the penny. This fiscal bleeding became an unsustainable burden, a major rallying cry for those who advocated for its retirement. The question finally became, why continue to subsidize a coin that no longer serves its primary purpose effectively and actively drains public funds, especially when a clear deadline for its cessation can be set? The environmental argument also weighed heavily on the decision. Producing billions of pennies each year consumes vast quantities of raw materials, zinc primarily, which must be mined and processed. The energy required for this mining, smelting, and minting process carries a significant carbon footprint. While one penny's impact is minuscule, billions of them collectively contribute to resource depletion and environmental strain. Advocates for abolition pointed to this as another compelling reason to let the penny go, aligning with a broader global movement towards sustainability and efficiency. The retirement in 2025 will significantly reduce this environmental toll. Beyond the economics and environmental concerns, there's the subtle but pervasive psychological impact. The time cost of the penny, for instance, is often overlooked but deeply felt. Every time a cashier counts out pennies or a customer fumbles for exact change, a few precious seconds are lost. Multiply these seconds across millions of transactions nationwide every single day, and the aggregate economic impact, while difficult to quantify precisely, becomes enormous. It's a small friction point, repeated endlessly, that contributes to a general sense of inefficiency in daily commerce. Its retirement promises a smoother, faster flow for cash transactions. Furthermore, the very concept of value itself has shifted dramatically. In an era of cashless transactions, digital payments, and roundup apps, the tangible, physical penny feels increasingly archaic. Many younger generations, growing up with debit cards and mobile payment systems, have little connection to physical currency, let alone a coin so small it feels almost like an anomaly. For them, the penny is not a nostalgic link to the past, but rather a perplexing leftover. The decision to retire it acknowledges this fundamental shift in how Americans handle money. This brings us to the fascinating and often fierce cultural resistance that the penny's impending demise has stirred. For many Americans, particularly older generations, the idea of abolishing the penny has been anathema. It's seen as an attack on tradition, a dismissal of history, and even an affront to the working class. The image of Abraham Lincoln, a revered figure, adorning the coin makes it deeply symbolic. To remove Lincoln from circulation, they argue, feels un-American, a slight against one of the nation's greatest leaders. Organizations like Americans for Common Sense actively lobbied to keep the penny in circulation, citing the potential for rounding up prices if the penny were eliminated. They argued that retailers, when forced to round to the nearest nickel, would invariably round up, leading to a rounding tax that disproportionately affects lower-income individuals. They contended that the penny acts as a crucial check on pricing, allowing for pricing that accurately reflects the cost of goods, subtly increasing the cost of goods and services for everyone. They contended that the penny acts as a crucial check on pricing, allowing businesses to offer prices ending in 0.99 cents, which consumers perceive as more attractive than whole dollar figures. Without the penny, they suggested, this psychological pricing strategy would be disrupted, and prices would simply jump. This rounding argument, while intuitively appealing to many consumers, has been rigorously debated by economists. Studies from countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and most of Europe, all of which have successfully abolished their lowest denomination coins, suggest that the rounding tax effect is either negligible or short-lived. Prices tend to adjust over time, with both upward and downward rounding occurring,
often balancing out for the average consumer. However, the perception of being nickeled and dimed by retailers is a powerful one, deeply ingrained in the American consumer psyche, and it has fueled much of the public's resistance to change, making the final decision a difficult but necessary one. The debate also delves into the realm of charity. Pennies for kids, penny drives for local schools, pennies for patients. These are iconic fundraising efforts embedded in American community life. Many argue that eliminating the penny would remove a simple, accessible way for individuals, especially children, to contribute to charitable causes. The sight of a jar filling up with coppers, accumulating into something meaningful, is a powerful lesson in collective generosity. The coming retirement in 2025 will necessitate new approaches to these beloved charitable traditions, prompting a re-evaluation of how communities rally around causes. This multifaceted debate, economic, environmental, psychological, historical, and cultural, is what made the death of the penny such a compelling narrative, leading to the momentous decision to retire it. It's not merely a dry discussion about coinage, it's a reflection of deeper societal shifts, a tension between pragmatic efficiency and sentimental tradition. It's about navigating the uncomfortable reality that what once served us well may no longer be fit for purpose, and the challenging decision of when to finally let go. The journey toward potentially retiring the penny has been a long and winding one, punctuated by various proposals and legislative attempts over many decades. It's not a new idea, but rather one that periodically resurfaced with renewed vigor as economic conditions, technological advancements, and public sentiment evolved. Even as far back as the 1970s and 80s, when inflation truly began to bite into the penny's value, there were calls to abolish it. But these early efforts were often met with stiff resistance, both from the public and from powerful lobbies. The penny was still perceived as too integral, too beloved, too economically significant to simply cast aside. The Lincoln imagery held strong, and the perceived benefits of precision pricing outweighed the nascent concerns about cost of production. However, the real turning point arrived in the early 2000s when the cost of producing a penny consistently exceeded 1 cent. The US Mint began losing money on every penny it produced. This stark financial reality added a new, undeniable urgency to the debate. It was no longer a theoretical discussion, but a practical problem costing taxpayers millions. This ongoing fiscal drain has forced policymakers to seriously consider abolition, ultimately culminating in the decision to set a firm retirement date. The story of the penny, then, is a microcosm of larger challenges faced by many nations: how to modernize without discarding valuable heritage, how to make financially sound decisions in the face of emotional attachment, and how to adapt an analog system to a rapidly accelerating digital world. With the date set for 2025, America now embarks on the final phase of this transition, a bittersweet farewell to a small coin that cast a long shadow. As we delve deeper into this intricate tale, leading up to its final curtain call, we will explore the precise mechanics of coin production, the fluctuating costs of raw materials, and the legislative hurdles that have repeatedly thwarted efforts to retire the penny until now. We will hear from economists who meticulously calculate the deadweight loss of pennies, environmentalists who advocate for resource conservation, retailers who grapple with the inefficiencies of small change, and ordinary Americans who hold deeply personal, often contradictory views on the fate of this humble coin. We will uncover the surprising ways in which other countries have successfully navigated this transition, and what lessons, if any, America can learn from their experiences in these final years of the penny circulation. This is the story of the penny, not just as a piece of currency, but as a living artifact, a silent chronicler of American history now facing its ultimate reckoning. It is a story of enduring tradition meeting the inexorable forces of progress. It is a testament to the fact that even the smallest, most ubiquitous objects can hold immense symbolic power. And as 2025 approaches, marking the official end of an era, we are left to ponder: what does it mean for a nation to bid farewell to its oldest coin? What does this retirement, after over 2 centuries of faithful service, truly say about America's evolving identity, its changing relationship with money, and its willingness to embrace a future where even the smallest things might take on a new, perhaps entirely digital form. The death of the penny, if it comes, will not be a quiet fade, but a profound shift, signaling a new chapter in America's long and complex relationship with its money. And the ripples of that change will be felt far beyond the bottom of our pockets, echoing through our wallets, our communities, and our collective memory as a small coin with a lasting impact finally rests in peace.